Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to unbox the Sesshomaru action figure from Series 2. I have done the Comic-Con special edition where his mouth is open and he comes with the Jokin figure, but this is the original one that came out. I've wanted this one for a very long time and I'm excited to get it out of the box and go through all the details. We'll go through the packaging here first. We've got this nice picture of him in the background. Really well done, beautiful colors in the packaging. Got the figure here, we've got his two swords. Another picture here tells us everything the figure comes with. And then on the back, we can see here's another pose of his, and then they show the figure from a few different angles. Looks like here they've turned his head a little bit, which I noticed on the other figure, you have to turn his head in order to get the tenseiga to go all the way down. Otherwise, it ends up sticking out more over there from the side where his belt is, because the bottom of the sheath hits his hair. And so we're gonna see if we can turn his head just like they've done here and then get the sword to fit in perfectly because it looks better for display. And then here we've got the Series 1, Inuyasha and Kagome. I've unboxed both of these, they're on the channel, and then Sango and Miroku. I've also done those, you can find all of those on the channel. So we think this was 2003 or 2004, and here we got the video game that's coming to PlayStation 2 in November 2004. So very nostalgic. I'll go ahead and open it up, try to keep the package in pretty good condition, and then we'll go into all the little details there. And they've got a sticker here on the bottom, I think $75. I don't think that's what these sold for when they first came out. I think they were somewhere in the maybe $30 to $40 range, but if I'm wrong and you guys know better, just let me know in the comments. All right, so we've got this lifted up, and I like to try to keep it as clean as possible. So this came off really nice and clean, and I always save the card too, just to have it for the memory. And then we'll pop this down, move the packaging over to the side, and then this looks like, okay, it's glued on there, so we can see the figure here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these out. Let's do the tenseiga first, and let's see. So this one comes out of the sheath very easily. I had issues with the tenseiga where I was able to pull the sword out once and then I was not able to put the sword back in because it would just get caught and I felt like the handle was going to break off. And I also have a tenseiga I've not ever been able to pull out of there at all. So that one worked really nice and smooth. And then here, let's get the tokajin out. I'm gonna have to bend this a little bit just so I bend the sword. And then on this one, whenever we go to put in his hand, this bottom piece we pull out, we slide the sword into his hand, and then we put it back in, and that will allow us to get in his hand because it's not open enough, and because this is a little bit wider than his hand. They've done that little trick, if you want to call it, or wait, okay, sorry guys, so that's not actually the case. The other one, I had to pull out the bottom one on the Comic-Con edition, but this one, the top actually comes off, and so we'll put the handle in his hand and then just put this on. I think it's actually going to be a little bit easier than the other one, so interesting. I'm gonna have to pull out that other one too from the Comic-Con because I thought it was the yellow thing that came out, but now I just need to double check myself. And then here we've got some of these little twist ties, so we're gonna get these loosened up so we can get him out. So 1 second. And I think that's the only one. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and get the figure out. There we go. It's a little bit loud, so let's set that off to the side. And then let's take a look at him up close. And so I think they've done a terrific job here with his face. There we go. So you can see his eyes, nose, mouth, all the little marks there. His armor looks really good. I love the details there with the red. Got his armor here. Got his kind of belt, the yellow and that light purple. Not light purple, but just purple. We've got the marks here on his hands. Of course, his left arm is gone, so that was cut off. This is where we'll put the sword in. This is nice and fuzzy. A little bit matted down in the back, so we'll just fluff it up. Get that little piece out of there. Perfect. These are hollow, so the figure is a lot lighter than you would think. And then there on the back, we can see the details again with the red little patterns. See his hair, nice color there. I think they did a good job with the silver. It's a little bit darker toward the bottom to create some of those natural shadows. So it looks really, really nice. And then here is where we'll put the Tenseiga in. And so let's see if we can get his head to turn. So let's see if I try to turn his head. It's not really going. It's almost like we have to turn the body. And let's see, so his hair will eventually get caught there. So let's see if this helps us get the Tenseiga and give him a little bit of that turn, because you'll see here his hair starts to get caught on his tail and his arm. So I'm gonna set this down and let's go ahead and try to get that Tenseiga in there, and hopefully we can get it to display better than we did on the previous one. Okay, so he wants to turn. Let's see here. I think I'm almost gonna have to turn him back. Okay, there we go. And then just try to fit that through there as best as possible. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this out from behind the camera to make sure I don't break anything, and then we'll come right back and get the Tokujin in his hand. Okay, so we are back now. I was able to get the Tenseiga in there. I would say if you get this figure, be really careful and gentle with it. Nothing broke, fortunately, but you do have to kind of pivot him back just a little bit and turn his head. So you can see here his head has a little bit of that swivel. So if you can turn that a little bit to where he's looking off to his left, and then also turn his torso, I recommend taking the sword out, pushing the sheath in more, and then putting the sword back in. So while it's not in there quite all the way, I could probably push it in a little bit more. I'm just being careful. I don't want anything to break. And then went ahead and put the Tokujin in his hand too. So like I showed earlier, the top of the blade just comes off. You put the handle through his hand, and then you put the blade back on. So the figure is absolutely beautiful. I love how he looks once you get the sword in his hand and right there around his hip. So I'll bring him up close so you can see him again. Stunning, stunning figure. Especially for the time it came out too. They did a really, really good job with this one. So he's gonna just look great there on the shelf, right next to the Inuyasha figure. And we'll show him from the back. I'm gonna do a short of this one too, and then post it so you get the full 360 effect. I find that's a little bit easier than me bringing the camera down and trying to rotate the figure around. So let's get that in focus. And there he is. So a beautiful figure, my favorite character from Inuyasha. Always thought he was the coolest. He's strong, cool, calm, collected. And just the way he looks, his whole outfit. The swords, the details, did a terrific job with this one. So thank you so much for tuning into this one. I will post this video right now after the upload, and then tomorrow I will post the shorts so you can get that full 360 of him. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions about the figure, just leave a comment down below, and then I'll see you for the next one.